All right, what's going on, guys? Fast cars, fast money. We're coming out with another fast podcast because we got kind of same day qualifying and same day race. So you only got about 2-3 hours between qualifying the race to get something out. So it's myself, Rich, and Kev. We're going to be kind of giving you our thoughts here for the Cup Series video. But real quickly, you know, what we saw from the Xfinity Series in the Truck Series race, this track is pretty difficult to pass. I would say, track position is key. So don't be afraid to play some of these guys who are starting up front. And then let's also take advantage of some of the guys who kind of messed up in qualifying, who we know are faster than, where they're starting. So I think that should pretty much be it. I still think can go, but we can hop into the individual drivers.
All right, so as we get into this driver breakdown, I'll just start here. Obviously, we got Kyle Larson. He's just been dominating the Cup Series so far this year. I mean, he comes in $1,100 more than everybody else, but it's hard to argue against that price tag when he's been doing what he's doing. He gets any car he gets in, whether it's on a dirt track or asphalt, or concrete. He just seems to be dominating the race, winning. So obviously, we got pretty high interest on him today. If you do go with him, just know you need him to dominate to really pay off that price tag. But he's starting fifth. It's not going to be long before you see him, or should see him up there, kind of challenging for that lead spot. Also in this group, we got Martin Truex. He got real loose and almost lost it on his qualifying lap. So he just kind of backed off, saved the car. He's starting 35th. So he offers a ton of PD upside. We know he's fast. We know he likes these shorter style tracks. Always seems to run real well on them. That being said, that he is starting 35th. He's probably going to be very high owned because he does offer that ton of PD upside. If you think, if you fit him with a Larson or some of these other guys we got a little farther down that you think are going to dominate, then you need, some of those PD points. There's only going to be 2, maybe 3 dominators here today. But I don't know. What are you thinking about in this price range, Andrew?
Yeah, for me, it's interesting. If you're playing tournaments, I think Kyle Larson's your guy. Maybe Chase Elliott. If you're playing cash, I still think Larson's a good play, and then maybe you can go ahead and look at Truex. I'm not super high on Truex for a tournament play, just because if you're paying all the way up for a guy that is that expensive, you really want him to dominate. And Truex didn't look that good in practice yesterday, and obviously he messed up his qualifying run, so he'll get you those place differential points, but I don't think he's going to dominate the race like Larson will, or maybe Elliott will. So for me, it's really just Kyle Larson in this range, but I don't mind going to Truex if you are playing cash games. What about you, Rich?
I think we're still having some connectivity issues here with Rich. So we'll just move down.
Go down to the next one.
Yeah, we'll just move down in this 9K range. So, I guess I'll start here, Andrew. We got Kyle Busch. He's 9,900, so he's at the top end of this range. But, he won yesterday. It's another week with practice and qualifying. We know KFB just dominates when he gets practice and qualifying. And he ran yesterday, starting on the front row. I could see him easily passing Elmero on the first lap or two and, dominating at least this first stage. The big question is going to be whether he can hold off Hendricks with Byron, Chase, and Elliott, or Byron, Chase, and Larson right behind him. But if he can dominate that first stage, and then finish top 5, I think he can very easily pay off that price tag. Another guy in this, kind of already mentioned him a little bit, would be William Byram. He's arguably been the second best Hendrick Motorsports car all year behind Larson. It just seems like no matter what track you go to, he's always in the top 5, top 10, leading laps. He's not like a specialist per se. I can see him, doing something today. And then another guy I might look out of this range would be Harvick. Stewart Haas Racing seems to be doing a lot better so far these last few weeks. All of his teammates seem to qualify pretty well. He's starting 12th, so we should offer you a little bit of PD. I could see him getting a top 10 today. I don't know if he'll necessarily win this race, but, someone to watch. He should come in really low owned because he's kind of been a non-factor thus far this year.
Yeah, and then for me, if you're looking at this range, I'm still trying to get the upside of, okay, who's the driver who can either get me some dominator points by either leading laps or putting down fast laps, or who's a driver in this range who can get me some good place differential. But I think for me, if for whatever reason, if Larson's not leading, you got to try to think, okay, who else potentially might be out front then? I think Kyle Busch is a good option starting on the front row, probably a tournament only play. I think there's a high chance he gets right around Almirola, early on the race and leads maybe the first stage until, maybe pit cycling cycles him out or a caution or something. And you can't go wrong with William Byron either. Like Kev was saying, he's been super consistent all year long, just clocking off top 10. He's going to be up there in the top 5 for most of the race. And when you're in that kind of top 5 area, that's when you're picking up those fast laps. So I would say Byron and Busch would be my 2 guys there with more interest going to Byron. And then I guess we can get down to the next range there with Logano down to, is that Austin Dillon?
Yeah, Austin Dillon. Yes, sir.
Yeah. For me, this is an interesting range because of where some of these guys had qualified. But I really like Tyler Reddick today. I know Reddick kind of messed up his qualifying lap a little bit. RCR gets their engines from Hendrick, so we know how powerful Hendrick is, and I think that's carrying over to the RCR team. Reddick was really fast in practice, had a good 10-lap average, so I love getting the Tyler Reddick there. And then Kurt Busch. I think Kurt Busch is another option. He's even cheaper. He didn't have a great qualifying run either, but he's an experienced driver, and starting that deep in the field, I think that's a good place differential play that you can plug into your line. Just know that, whether you play Bell, Busch, or Reddick, a lot of these guys are going to be high owned. But for me, if I had to rank them, I'd probably put Reddick first, Busch second, and then Bell third for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on those 3. I mean, when I was watching qualifying, I think Reddick and Kurt were the 2 that jumped out at me. They just kind of had a couple little issues early in their run, couldn't quite recover from it, so they qualified poorly, but offered you a bunch of PD. They're reasonably priced. And then I'll just mention Logano and Blaney in this range as well. We have them as medium interest. They don't necessarily offer you a ton of PD upside. You need Logano to finish about where he is to pay off. But I think both him and Blaney seem to be a little underpriced this week. It would have been nice if they would have started a little farther back or something so we could capitalize on that underprice. But I think there's somebody to watch. It's just hard to see Blaney competing with Hendricks and getting a top 5. And, I could see Logano kind of hanging out where he is. But, I mean, you need him to get fast laps and lead a couple laps to pay off that almost $9K price tag. So as we move down in here to this $7K range, I think this is where you're going to start making your gravy this week. I mean, the top tier guys are going to be top tier guys. You got to play. You need the dominators. There's only so many of them that even have a chance to really dominate this race. But so you're going to need some of these value guys to get 2 or 3 of those guys. So we'll start with Chastain starting 19th. He was really fast in practice, had the second fastest 10-lap average behind Larson. Qualified 19th. He started off good. I think he got a little loose in the middle of his too, so didn't quite lay down as fast as he could have, which is good for us from a DFS standpoint. Offers us a little PD upside, and I mean, I don't see why he shouldn't be able to run top 15 today. And the other guy I was really impressed with in qualifying was Ricky Stenhouse. He lost it real early on, and still managed to qualify top 15. So if he would have, ran clean that whole time, he could easily have qualified top 10. So I think he offers us a little bit of upside today. He was top 5 in practice yesterday, so he has some of that long-term speed. So I don't see why he shouldn't be able to kind of maintain that starting spot, definitely move up a few spots. And then someone else I'll touch on real quick here would be Chris Buescher. He's just been nothing short of great this year. He just continues to impress no matter where he starts, whether he's starting top 10, today he's starting 17th. He always, seems to show you why he deserves that starting spot, if not higher. So I see him moving up. He should, I'd say, get at least top 15 and, one of those value plays, depending on how your salary falls. I wouldn't be afraid to go that route either. What about you, Andrew?
Yeah, I really like all these Chevy drivers today. My line might even just consist of exclusively Chevy drivers that they're just, for whatever reason, they're just showing up pretty fast this weekend, and I like the value that they're providing with the price tags. But yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, Chastain and Stenhouse, these are 2 guys I love. Both of them looked really good in practice. And like you were saying, they even didn't have the best qualifying run, but I think from a DFS perspective, that only gives them more upside because they'll probably have some place differential baked into, where they're going to finish. And then moving down from, who's that, Eric Jones to Ryan Preece?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Preece is interesting. I'm curious to see what his ownership is going to be because he did win the Truck Series race, and he has some extra laps on this track. He qualified around 20th. Probably where he's going to finish. So I don't know how much upside he really has, but a guy I do like in this range a lot would be Ryan Newman. Newman, again, didn't really have a great qualifying run, but if you look at the practice speeds and you look at the 10-lap averages, Newman was up there. And if he can carry that over, he's going to be a guy that slowly but surely is going to make his way forward throughout the day. And if you're paying up for Larson, Byron, Truex, Busch, like you gotta find some good value down here, and that's really what we're looking for is either finishing potential or place differential, and I think Newman offers both of those, so I like Newman a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Newman's probably my favorite play out of this group. He's starting the lowest out of this 6K price range, starting 29th. Is Ryan Newman on a track that we've heard all weekend is hard to pass on, so you don't really see him losing any spots. He should definitely move up. I could see him easily getting a top 20, which is going to crush at that price tag. Another guy that I'm have some interest in this group would be Daniel Suarez. Kind of a similar situation to Buescher. He's just been, him and his team's been impressive all year. They continue to impress. Price tag has stayed right where we want him for him to be a good value play for us starting 22nd. So he offers you a little bit of PD. Should probably definitely be able to maintain that spot, move up a little bit. And I just think he's another solid value play to help get you some of those studs. And then as we move down into this kind of punt range, we'll say, I think the lowest will probably go in our main lines would probably be Corey LaJoie starting 24th, runs a little bit better at these short tracks. So he needs like a top 20 to really pay off, but that doesn't seem too unfeasible. And then another guy I'll just touch on real quick. If you're running some multiple lines or 20 max entry or something would be Quinn Hoff. It's $4,500 to be able to maybe fit 3 of those studs in with him and get some more of those mid-value plays. Starting dead fucking last, so he can't hurt you. He can only move up as long as he stays on the track. He's not going to crush for you, but he could kind of give you that salary you need to get some of those, to try to get all the dominators and get some takedowns. You have anything to add on this, Andrew?
Yeah, I love Huff. God bless qualifying because he lost it, spun around, and clipped the wall a little bit. I think he'll be okay for the race. It didn't seem like that, heavy of an impact. But what that means is he starts last, like Kev was saying, and he's super cheap. I think he's the cheapest driver on the slate at $4,500 there. So he can't lose you any points. And the nice thing about Huff is you plug him in, and every time there's a wreck or every time there's an accident, he continuously just moves forward. He's probably not going to finish any higher than 30th, but that's okay because that'll still give you positive points. And then, like Kev was saying, it allows you to jam in another one of those top plays to increase your odds, increase your chances of maybe getting that lap leader or maybe getting that guy who's running those fast laps, or get another guy who's going to finish in the top 10 and has plus 20 points worth of place differential in there. So, normally we're not too high on these back marker cars, but just because of the way the slate's laid out and pricing, I don't mind plugging in Huff there. I know it's a little weird to do that, but I'm totally okay with doing that. But that's going to be it for the Cup Series podcast, video breakdown. Thank you guys as always for tuning in. I know it was a little hectic this weekend with the same day qualifying with the Truck Series and Xfinity Series and Cup Series. So thank you guys for sticking with us and enjoying the content. As always, you can find the spreadsheet over on Twitter. It's at FastCarsFM. If you haven't already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It really means a lot to us. Any questions, hop them, either down in the comments on YouTube, over on Twitter. We'll make sure we get back to you before the slate locks. And then if you guys are watching our videos and haven't subscribed subscribed yet, we would really appreciate that as well. But that's going to do it for Nashville, and we will catch you on the next one.
All right. Good luck, everybody. Hopefully, big money weekend.